live anymore, then it is considered lost, isn't it?
Lapunan besar-besar.
Even what was once a paradise, there is no exception. But some treasures are better left undiscovered, so they may prosper undisturbed.
Dulu Hoga banyak sekali tamu.
Kami bertahan karena kami sayang tempat ini. Mungkin kepikiran ke depannya pariwisata makin berkembang.
Berarti penghasilan putus?
Iya, mau diapakan?
Begitu ada COVID, tiba-tiba berhenti. Tidak ada sama sekali kegiatan, tidak ada tamunya datang.
Here we are in the Southeast Sulawesi, investigating what happened to the former prima donna of Wakatobi, Hoga Island, which unfortunately I should refer as the Lost Paradise.
We walk, we breathe, we live casually on our world up here on land. Unlike us, unaware of another world down there. These people are different. These people are aware because their lives depend on it. And when it's gone, they lost everything.
Setelah COVID, kami sama sekali tidak ada tamu. Semenjak COVID, kami kadang-kadang ikut nelayan, pergi cari teripang laut, cari ikan. Itu kami bisa bertahan hidup dengan itu.
The longest silence is the one you wish to be loud again.
Tetap bertahan. Saya juga senang tinggal di sini. Iya, kami tidak bisa tinggalkan tempat ini.
This is a story about an island in the heart of Wakatobi's diverse oceans and the people who are counting on its comeback. But first, we need to understand what is going on in their world. And for that, we need to dive into another world underwater, so little known by us. A world that is so beautiful. is like a mother, so generous, so giving. And we are like a child, only taking, haven't really known what to give. We take and take and take, until there is not so much left to thrive. Well, deep down, we feel it in our hearts that we cannot lose the ocean. Only when there is darkness, we can see the light. When challenges arise, hopes become thunderous. The higher our dream, the deeper our faith be. If it all depends on you, would you go to the bottom of the sea? On the other side of our world, there must be somebody willing to risk everything to bring back the past. Laludin is a Bajau spearman who had made a professional guide for Hoga Island in his career. He was one of the 3 people who have acquired the Dive Master certification in the whole village. Some assets he once were very proud of, and now is trying to take every possibility of going back to that day of his glory, doing the thing that he loves the most for a living. As the saying goes, you cannot love something until you know what it is. But the Proverbs continues, if you love something, set it free. We might not recognize it because we live on land, but the depths provide immense support for the life above. The ocean provided and continues to provide water, oxygen, and nutrients, and moderates the climate needed for life to exist on Earth. The ocean doesn't need us, it is us who need the ocean. And yet, our attitude has been quite the opposite. We acted like we did not need it. We acted like we did not care. And it raises more questions when we talk about a lost paradise. Should we rediscover it or let it go unfound? Nobody has the perfect answer to that, however. A good diver knows some applicable rules, some not to-do list to bridge us on to exploring the depth without destroying this delicate world. But to some predecessors, the list cannot be counted due to some circumstances. Well, there is no black or white in the ocean. There is only blue, where all colors disappear. Just as there is no perfect way to save the ocean, the sea gypsies are doing it with their generations-old local wisdom. Doing what they know and known as the best. The Bajau believe in karma. They call it pamali. It means restrictions, and it arranges matters relating to the survival of ecosystems and marine biota, such as pamali of catching fish or collecting seafood around the coral reefs. To put it simply, if they do harm to the ocean, it will befall themselves. Such rules help protect the ocean when the ones who apply it live close to the sea. Naturally, they became the guardian of the sea. Just like in any other place, there are always some who see rules as made to be broken. But some keep on fighting to save it. And now their concern is the more terrible danger, the destructive fishing, which destroys everything just to take from the ocean. They fight it by doing the opposite. With only a wooden spear and a small boat attached to their body, they take only enough from the ocean. setting an example for a more mindful living, a simple life. The Bajau knows the ocean more than anybody else. But Bajau here knows more than just protecting the ocean. They know their whys and what is at stake. To Wakatobi, the health of the ocean determines many aspects of the livelihood going on this archipelago. Moreover, on the tourism aspect. Encompasses 13,900 square kilometers on the Coral Triangle, which is recognized as a global center of marine biodiversity and a global priority for conservation. The largest barrier reef in Indonesia, only second in the world to the Great Barrier of Australia, blessed with 5 atolls, with one of them is the second biggest atoll in the world. We hear of Wakatobi just about every day, but every time people think of visiting Wakatobi, this little island here was not on the list. Which is weird, because this island was the icon of Wakatobi.
Dulu boleh dikata setiap bulan ada, setiap bulan ada pengunjung.
Banyak sekali dari Cina, Australia, pokoknya macam-macam lah.
And these abandoned villas are the only signs of that. Now that we have heard of it, why don't we go and check it ourselves? And let the adventure begin. To the icon we go! To reach Hoga Island, we would need to step on the gate first, where most of the tourism players live. Just a few miles away to the southeastern side of Bajau Island. Here we are on the closest gate to Hoga Island, front to front with a serene and beautiful place. This is Sama Bahari, also known as Sampela Village, a home for a rich marine life and also a community which we all know very well,
has a deep and special connection with the sea, the Bajau people.
The biggest ocean tribe in the world is choosing Indonesia as one of their homes. They are actually transboundaries, as there is no real limit in the sea. Therefore, they are not only present in Indonesia, yet here they are referred as the true custodians of maritime culture. As we were also considered as a maritime country, the Bajau helps strengthen that identity. Because they live by exploring the sea, they are people who barely meet land. Unlike many of us who visit the sea on occasions, they view the sea as a place for life for the rest of their lives. In Indonesia, the Bajaus form villages that can be found in some regions from Kalimantan, Moluccas, East Nusa Tenggara, and Sulawesi. By villages I meant not on land, but above the sea.
These authentic stilt houses decorating the coast belong to hundreds of Bajau families living here. And one condition for where they would live is the direct access to the ocean. And so they would develop amazing freediving skills even from early childhood. There you go!
Of these kids, when they grow up, would be the tourism workers, which back then would be mainly in Hoga Island. The glory of Hoga was theirs. By the time of the glory, a man could start as a boatman and then develop skill to be a tour guide, whilst women used to take care of the household, from cook to receptionist and to manager. There were many jobs that residents from Sampela could roll for, but now they're gone. But the skills remain. To run tourism industries in coastal areas, it takes a deep connection with the sea. Free to play in the ocean without fears. Befriending the salt water and standing the heat of the sun, we need to pay a big amount to afford such a holiday. So those who can do such are privileged. And there is nothing that can take it away from these Bajau kids. With such rights comes responsibilities. They have to learn how to protect their playgrounds.
Bapak murid.
the serenity of the morning above the ocean. It's time to explore this village and see how life is going for the ocean people. Various different jobs are done with one transportation vehicle, a small boat. Which in the morning turns the sea under the houses into a busy road. Even without Hoga, life must go on. But even with all this busyness, it couldn't be at the time when the most famous job was a Hoga Island tour guide.
Betul-betul siasat na mas tengah pitu. Porek ke penganjamaan mauga. Setelah itu pitu sudah sarapan. Tanya sama sarapan madu air oksigen, bensin. Ibunya kita siap-siap mas pit. Habis itu 2 air pas titik pitu, 2 air ke speed. Sudah titik pitu nyaraan dah star. Titik pitu ke bola telur atau bola 4. Setelah itu inap 40 minit. Kalau buat 4 kita sabian tu kaya 4 2 air. 2 air porek 4 malumbah ke bola 2. Setelah itu titik dah kau 4 batiru. Seterusnya batiru sampai titik telur. Titik telur selesai setengah 5. Habis itu padu tak oksigen, air memang pakai speed. Mulai pakai oksigen padu tak ada radio tagu ta speed taling kota. Habis itu titik 5 langsung mulai istirahat.
When Hoga was prosperous, he was busy. But now, the only option left is to be what they have always been, a spare fisherman. Everybody knows Bajau. No one could beat them at spear fishing. So, it is time for me to learn from the master. I watched Laludin going down the pool like he was flying up in the sky. The corals were like a sign on the street. He knows this place very well. It is like the ocean is his home. What a privilege to have such a deep connection with the ocean. I couldn't help but to think, if I were him, would I want to do anything that takes me away from the sea? We all can guess the answer. No. He took me to Hoga Island. A little exploration around his former workspace. It soon turned into a tragic nostalgia. Reminiscing about the good old days.
Ada orang boleh menawar saya di sini. Itu dia bilang mau kerja di Hoga. Saya tanya berapa gaji 1 bulan. 125. Saya langsung kerja, masuk kerja, langsung isi tabung. Langsung ikut dulu, ikut di situ.
Diajarkan.
1 minggu kemudian saya sudah bisa sendiri. Itu belum terjadi gaji, ambil open water belum.
Oh, sebelumnya apa?
Open water, baru habis open water, airphone, baru rescue.
Setelah apa baru boleh jadi guide?
Kecuali day master, bos bilang dia tunjuk kita sama Pak Duda, kalian harus kursus day master di Bajau, dan ditanggung semua perusahaan.
Itu berapa tahun Pak dari pertama Bapak masuk sampai dive master?
Dari 2000 itu.
Sampai
ya,
dive master?
Sampai dive master. Dive masternya 2017 mungkin.
17 tahun kemudian baru Bapak menjadi guide.
It took 17 years to be a decent guide in Hoga Island. But fate only allowed Laludin to be one for a brief moment.
The world of tourism suffered a great deal after COVID hit. 5 years in recovery, some destinations found their way to begin again, but some couldn't even imagine. This is the case for our former prima donna of Wakatobi,
Hoga Island, whose name has never been heard again in the main destination lineup, even in Wakatobi. This leaves me wonder, what makes it so difficult for the so-called first paradise to regain its crown?
To find the answer, I went to visit one of the oldest residents of Hoga Island. Sanawia is the manager of Hoga Island Dive Resort. She has been taking care of the tourism business in Hoga Island since the very beginning.
Diceritain dong Bu, dulu kalau banyak yang datang, mereka ngapain sih Bu datang ke sini?
Kegiatannya paling pergi snorkeling, diving, itu saja setiap hari.
Itu biasa dari mana tamunya dulu?
Ada dari Eropa, ada Prancis, ada Jerman, ada Finlandia, ada Switzerland, ada...
Itu tamunya berganti terus atau ada yang pernah datang kembali lagi?
Ada yang kadang-kadang langganan.
Iya. Itu langganannya gimana Bu?
Langganan biasanya kadang datang 2-3 kali. Mereka datang, kadang rindu dengan makanan, rindu dengan karang tentang Hoga, seperti itu.
Dulu seramai apa sih Bu sebelum COVID itu?
Dulu boleh dikata setiap bulan ada. Setiap bulan ada pengunjung.
Sebanyak apa pengunjungnya?
Sebanyak biasanya ya tidak banyak-banyak juga, kadang ada 4 orang tapi tinggalnya lumayan lama, kadang 2 minggu, kadang ada yang sebulan tinggal.
Bagaimana Ibu bertahan sehari-harinya Bu? Gimana? Coba gambarkan sehari-hari Ibu ngapain di sini kalau nggak ada tamu?
Sehari-hari nggak ada tamu, kami pergi di kampung.
Oh, kampung berakhir.
Ada kampung kecil di sini. Nanti jam 5 sore atau jam 6 sore kami kembali ke sini.
Oh, biar tidak kesepian.
Biar banyak teman di sana.
Iya Bu. Baik, berarti istirahat di sini malam, pagi, malam, begitu ya. Terus setiap
pagi
hari?
Setelah bersih-bersih pergi lagi.
Begitu terus setiap hari Bu?
Begitu terus setiap hari.
And now, she is the only one left in Hoga Island. Some still hold on to hope, but Hoga has not revived yet. I don't understand. The minute I arrived here, I instantly fell in love with this place. The white sandy beaches, surrounded only by the vast blue ocean, the sound of birds chirping and the wind breeze, the pristine water. You could see what is down there. A life dictated by nature. There is no other way to define a dream leisure. Sun-kissed, wind-wrapped. I want to stay here forever. Or maybe not just here, but under. The deeper we go, the greater its share. think you could already tell how strong the current is, but that is just the reason why this place is so rich. I don't think I have found my answer. This place is too good to be true. Why hasn't it recovered?
What actually happens when COVID hit? It seems that the truth behind the loss of the paradise is so much more about fighting COVID or waiting for the time for everything to be back normal again. It's just not the case. I think it's more about working the homeworks, first of all.
To discuss this issue, I met the head of Wakatobi National Park office, the one in charge of keeping the area preserved, while also being pushed to be productive in tourism sector.
Kebetulan Pulau Hoga ini kan itu di dalam zonasi kita, dia masuk di dalam zona sebagian perlindungan bahari, sebagian dia adalah zona pemanfaatan untuk wisata. Karena memang Hoga ini kan terkenal menjadi salah satu ikon Taman Nasional Wakatobi untuk kegiatan wisata. Kami menerapkan yang namanya sistem zonasi. Jadi di dalam zonasi itu sendiri kita sudah membagi wilayahnya, di mana di sana ada zona perlindungan bahari, ada zona inti, ada zona pemanfaatan, dan ada zona tradisional, serta ada zona khusus. Tujuan dari pembagian zonasi itu sebetulnya untuk menjamin kesinambungan sumber daya alam yang ada di dalamnya, dengan tetap memberikan ruang kepada masyarakat atau kepentingan lainnya sehingga bisa berjalan seimbang. Jadi masyarakat ini di dalam zona pemanfaatan atau zona tradisional ini, kalau untuk pemanfaatan untuk kepentingan pariwisata, di dalam regulasi kita itu di sana diberikan ruang untuk izin usaha. Kemudian untuk masyarakat yang berprofesi sebagai nelayan, itu kita akomodir di dalam yang namanya kemitraan konservasi.
Izin kami petugas patroli dari Balai Taman Nasional Wakatobi. Di mana, dari mana? Dari Sampela? Iya, Sampela. Oh, banyak ikan maya, bersetengah gap.
Jadi Hoga itu sangat potensi untuk pengembangan wisata. Cuman ketika kita berbicara untuk untuk pengembangan dalam skala besar, itu kita diperhadapkan dengan yang namanya, kemarin kan kita ada COVID ya, ada COVID. Kemudian yang kedua juga setelah COVID, kita diperhadapkan dengan kendala transportasi udara. Nah, karena ketika investasi itu kan dia akan menghitung. Investasi itu akan menghitung selain potensi alamnya juga akan melihat potensi pendukungnya seperti sarana transportasi.
Confirm. When I first came to Wakatobi, it was only the second time the flight had operated back after almost 2 years off. Matahora Wakatobi Airport. Cuts of days of travel by land and sea to reach Wakatobi into just 2 flights from Jakarta. A vital reason why people would reconsider visiting without it. Without easier access, any place, no matter how beautiful, would lose its charm. Because who would spend 4 days on the way? Well, to be fair, Indonesia has a lot of underwater paradises which are easy to get to. Now that the airport is back in operation, it is more important than ever to make sure that the charm is kept and preserved for our dear visitors to cherish when they come back.
Saya sudah berapa kali dikejar dari kepolisian, termasuk dari Taman Balai Nasional. Saya orang liar, lolos terus. Bukan menyerahkan diri, saya pelan-pelan mengadakan pendekatan dengan teman-teman di Balai Taman Nasional sampai jadi ketua kelompok. Dari tahun 2020, anggota saya kurang lebih 60 orang yang saya bina kemarin, sampai saya masuk ke anggota MMP. Awal sih saya cuma ngikut-ngikut teman. Menjelang berapa lama saya ngikut teman ini, saya ke bawah sampai bisa melakukan sendiri. Dan barangnya pun saya dapat beli dari penyuplai khusus. Itu dari luar Wakatobi. Fakta di lapangan yang saya alami sendiri, karena saya memang pelaku. Jadi kalau kita melakukan bom, kan ada berapa trik. Ada yang pakai kabel, ada yang sistem lempar, bakar lempar. Dan itu kalau kita melihat ikan yang dibawa itu, tidak terlalu banyak, kami tidak bom. Terkecuali kan udah ngumpul betul baru kami lakukan. Dan itu rata-rata sekali lempar itu, alhamdulillah memang lumayan sih. Ratusan kilo sekali lempar. Yang jadi masalah, kenapa terumbu karang hancur itu, karena bom tersebut sampai di dasar laut. Makanya hancur semua, koral-koral, batu-batu apa semua hancur situ.
You cannot undo what is done. That is why a second chance is special. But such responsibility to restore life is too big for just one person to bear. It takes many to work together because at this point, who still needs credit anyways?
Awalnya kami melakukan transaksi kawin itu dari pertama kami mengambil dari karang yang hidup, karena kami sebelumnya belum ada transaksi karang. Jadi inisiatif kami mengambil dari karang yang hidup. Setelah kami transaksi keduanya, kita mengambil dari hasil transaksi karang yang pertama, yang tahun 2019 itu, untuk mengembangkan transaksi karang berikutnya. Dan seterusnya begitu terus. Kita melakukan transaksi karang ini kami sudah siapkan di body sebanyak 10 media. Nanti bibitnya ada teman-teman yang mengambil bibit itu yang sudah dilakukan transplantasi 2 tahun yang lalu. Di dalam satu media itu hanya 15 anakan karang yang kita ikat di situ. Karena di situ kami ada SOP-nya sudah kita lakukan bahwa satu media itu cuma 15. Dan juga untuk memilih karang yang kita transplantasi ini harus karang yang betul-betul sehat. Karena mengambil karang yang tidak sehat pasti akan kita pindahkan, apalagi sudah pindah dari induknya, akan tidak hidup juga di situ. Dan pengikatnya juga harus sesuai betul-betul SOP. Tidak boleh dia bergerak atau tidak boleh dia goyang-goyang. Harus diikat betul-betul.
The truth behind the lost paradise, Hoga Island. Apparently, there is a complicated connection between the source of income loss and the destructive fishing behavior lingering around the island, dragging it beyond recovery. If the access is re-established and Hoga is open again, can we make sure that the beauty is still there? I think as I watch the youthful spirits trying to turn things around on their second chance. Would regret and amendment be enough to compensate for the lost paradise? Planting the seed of hope. May we rejoice in harvesting the fruit. For now, let it take the time it needs to grow. For when the time comes, it will bloom beautifully. For those who dare to come and experience the magic of Hoga.
Hoga and all its natural beauty has always been and is still there. However, just as all the beauty in this world, it always comes with vulnerability. It's not gonna be easy, but it's going to be worth it to save it and to preserve it. And so the question is no longer whether or not Hoga will regain its crown. It's about whether or not we will find a way to live side by side with nature and once again regain the lost paradise.